So this is Quarry, and Quarry is the piece that's installed in the room behind you. And a quarry is a place where you pull stone, right? And normally when we think of most quarries, especially marble quarries, you think of them as like on the side of a mountain, like in Italy, right? Like a famous Carrara marble. Or not just in Italy, but in India, for example, like the Calcutta marble, etc. So all of these places associated with marble and quarrying. But in fact, I got very interested in a marble quarry in Vermont. That's the largest underground marble quarry in the world. Underground meaning about 2 miles underground it goes. And I made this piece for an exhibition in Berlin that I know that Irina and Bara saw, called Wohnungsfrage, the housing question, which was at the Haus der Kulturen der Welt. And this is an exhibition view of the piece there, where it's hanging on a floating screen, like it is here, but a bit larger. And that exhibition looked at this kind of, the sense of what is housing, like in the contemporary state of housing, through artists' works and architects and collectives and so on. And they asked me if I would be interested to do a piece, and I said I would be interested to do something related to New York and the tremendous explosion of sort of luxury residential architecture in New York, most of which is that it seems like a rite of passage, a sort of rite de passage for every star architect is to have a luxury condo skyscraper built in New York right now. And what I got interested in is, in a way, a little bit like provenance, following the materials that are so valued that make up the surfaces of those spaces, those luxury condos, much of which is marble, following it from its source to its destination. So Quarry is almost like it's a single video, but it's structured in 2 halves, 2 unequal halves. And in the first half, you were in the marble quarry, and in the second half, you're in the spaces where the marble is deployed. Okay, so the film moves further once it's sort of in the luxury apartments. So you think you're in a luxury apartment, right? But you're actually, what you're in all of those spaces in the second half of the film are the speculative, sort of real-to-life scale of a model apartment. So those apartments are built inside of office buildings as a model of the luxury condo that you can buy for a building yet to be built. That's how they're sold. So in fact, you're not in a building, you're in this kind of 1-to-1 scale model. And then the film itself moves into all the renderings, right? So you start to get into another kind of modeled or virtual or speculative space of these, future apartments or places to come, and the sort of various surfaces and materials that make them up. Now, to me, it was quite interesting to use that kind of over-the-top orchestral score for something as mundane as like a kitchen sink backsplash, right? Or a kitchen counter surface. Because there's something about the presentation of these images and of those spaces that seem to me to be invested in the use of materials as not just a luxury item, but something that would have not just financial value, but the value of something intangible, almost spiritual, the value of art. To take the material, the very material of classical sculpture that is marble, and turn it into your living space means that you yourself can attain something somewhat akin to that. In fact, when I was going around to some of these spaces, one of the sort of salespeople in the developer's showroom told me, he was showing me a marble sink, and the sink was just a solid piece of marble with a void, like the basin of the sink was just a void cut out of the solid piece. And he said, our marble comes from the same marble quarry in Italy where Michelangelo took his marble for the Davids. And I was like, you're such a liar. That is an amazing lie. Because it spoke so acutely to the desire for the developers and the real estate speculation to create these spaces that feel somehow like they have the spirituality and value of art.